So then what did we have?
We had a merch spot with who honestly, in my opinion, should have been in the tag team title match with Silas Young and John the Woods Goods.
2 guys, 1 tag.
2 guys, 1 tag, and I like Silas Young. I think he's a great heel.
Kind of a disappointment to you that he wasn't on this show.
But he got a merch spot. I mean,
But then we have a grudge match. Jonathan Gresham versus Mark Haskins. And what were our stipulations to vote on?
All right, we had a Pure Rules match. 2 words, Pure Rules match, European Rules match, and a 2 out of 3 falls match.
And what were the percentages?
European Rules got 26%, Pure Rules got 30%, and 2 out of 3 falls got 44%. So, 2 out of 3 falls match.
First things first, I wrote there's a lot of strategic chain wrestling in the beginning of the match.
Yeah.
Haskins is a pretty nice body scissors to Gresham. Gresham Gresham ends up grabbing Haskins by the balls. And the funniest part about this particular spot is that Gresham is moving around in a circle, balls in hand, so the referee doesn't see it.
High school ref, by the way.
Then there's a spot where the ref gets thrown into the corner. Gresham gets thrown in the corner with Haskins, and Haskins grabs Gresham's balls.
Correct.
So that's pretty funny. Gresham does a half crab to Haskins. Haskins does a small package DDT to Gresham. Haskins does the Muda lock to Gresham. Wasn't a very good Muda lock, but he did have it nonetheless for like a second. So that counts.
Right on.
Gresham does a suplex to Haskins. Gresham does a beautiful bridge to Haskins. Holy shit, that was nice. Haskins does the shoulder soldier to Gresham, which is essentially a shoulder breaker. Haskins does the stretch muffler to Jonathan Gresham, which is essentially like it's the crab, but then also bending the leg a different direction. Then they do a double bridge pin.
Yeah.
Where the referee called it and awarded both competitors a fall, which both people did have shoulders down. The camera doesn't 100% catch Haskins' shoulders, the one shoulder, but from what we can see visually, they would both be down logically.
Yeah.
So, okay. Gresham does a nice springboard moonsault to Haskins. Haskins does a Falcon Arrow to Gresham. No one kicks out of the Falcon Arrow.
No one?
No one. Gresham then applies the figure four to Haskins. And then eventually they get to the ropes and roll it onto the floor. Then this is the part that gets confusing. So Gresham holds Haskins down until about 15 or so. Slides into the ring. Then Haskins just gets counted out.
Yeah, his knee couldn't hold up.
Which, I like that part of the storytelling because that's storyline continuity about the knee. But at the same point in time, it's the odd way to end a feud that would be like a quote-unquote blood feud.
Yeah.
Unless they continued this like somewhere very soon,
yeah.
I don't know why that would be considered a decent ending to your feud.
Gresham was playing a great heel at the beginning. Haskins was when I like it when heels take a powder. I just like it when they go, you know what, I got to chill out. And they got to go outside the ring and just regroup. I like that. It's just kind of like how you would in a not necessarily in a street fight, but like say you're in a football game. You know, you're going to call a timeout and we got to regroup.
Yep.
You know, I like that. Those ball shot spots were great. I love them because they both Gresham was more creative, but at least Haskins got the receipt. So fair enough. I loved it.
Okay. If I had to just say this. I feel like the Gresham one is first off is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Because he's literally just moving around in the ring going, ref doesn't see me, ref doesn't see me.
Yeah, it's not illegal until you get caught.
The Haskins one was great because it was a receipt, but I mean, it wasn't as creative.
Yeah. I was not a fan of the double pin. I really, that first 15 minutes or so, however long it was, of the chain wrestling, I wanted to see something more of a decisive pin. You know, for the first fall. If you're going to keep me that engaged, I really want to see something where it wasn't controversial. And to me, it was controversial because it wasn't obvious that Haskins had his shoulder down. I'm sorry to say that. I was not a fan of the double pin. Besides, to me, it's like a little bit of lazy booking to get me this far, and there's only 2 falls.
But see, though, what the part that I'll argue with you a little bit on is the fact that it's a creative way to get it to the 3rd fall without potentially fucking someone over. So, like, you didn't need Gresham doing a heel move, like hitting him with a chair. You know what I mean?
He's a heel.
I agree he is a heel. But at the same point in time, if you're looking at it from his character standpoint, it's bring to the dance what you came for. Bring to the dance what brought you there. And him, it's his pure wrestling abilities. And Haskins, it's his pure wrestling abilities. So you try to keep it as clean as possible. And the commentary did say that a lot of the times when Gresham was cheating, it was with people that had dirt under their fingernails first. People that would go do that shit to him first. Silas Young, Kenny King. So Haskins at this point didn't do anything heelish minus the fucking ball grab, but Gresham already did one first.
Yeah, okay.
So the double pin, it doesn't make either one look weak.
Well, okay, so there was The Rock and Triple H had an Iron Man match back in 2000, and one thing Triple H did is that he chair shotted Rock right in front of Shawn Michaels, and then he pinned him because at that point now Triple H has the advantage. The Rock is out. He may have given away a fall, but he still has the advantage, even though you know what I'm saying.
But the only my counteractive argument with that one is just the fact that match has a set time limit.
All right. Well, I wasn't going for the match itself. I was more going for the idea that's what he did to gain the advantage. I think if Gresham like low blows, for instance, or puts a chair shot into Haskins, gets DQ'd, but then he goes and pins him, but he still hits him with a chair and he maintains his advantage. So he's a heel. Why not do that? I mean, it's not pure rules or anything.
No, it's not pure rules, but at the same point in time, like if you. So let's just say this. If you knew you could kick someone's ass using, let's say, your fist, because you're a boxer, right? Why would you need to use underhanded tactics when you know you can beat him with your boxing ability? He might be a technical guy, but if you get one swing to him and you knock him the fuck out, why don't you try to get that one swing in?
I know, but like...
I know what you're thinking too. You're thinking like wrestling abilities and shit. I get that.
Yeah,
like,
I know, but like I mean, we're not like it's just I think of I guess I'm not trying to fantasy book anything.
We're both getting nitpicky is what we're doing.
Yeah, and
I like that we have disagreeing opinions.
I just wasn't a fan of the double pin. I felt that they could have still done 3 falls. Take away 5 minutes of some other match that we didn't like. The 5 minutes of the friggin' arguing between Taven and Castle, and put it to this match because like I was really into it for the first 12 minutes, and then I felt the double pin was lazy booking to me.
Creative,
okay, sure.
I give the double pin a pass. I wasn't a huge fan of the end.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't either. I know they're trying to get over the idea Haskins had his knee fucked up, but like it's a blood feud. Kick his ass. I was, after the double pin, there was like 2 seconds to where these 2 guys started throwing fists, and that was the only time you see it. And I was hoping for more brawling because both guys have now realized that like, crap, I just lost the fall by means that were out of my control because the ref only counted me or was supposed to count him down, but he counted me down as well. Then they're like, I got to win this match. So instead of like going back to the scientific chain wrestling, I'm gonna start beating this guy up. I was hoping to see that, and I think that hindered the story a little bit. So this, and then the ending came out of nowhere. I didn't even realize that it was getting counted out because I'm so used to WWE going like 1, 2. When it's like 5 seconds in between each second.
Yeah,
creative as it is, with the figure 4 leg lock being applied and then roll out to the floor. But if it's a blood feud, it's got to get settled.
It does. That's why I wasn't as cool about that. If I knew the rest of the story, like what happened afterwards on the Ring of Honor TV tapings, maybe I'll be a little okay with it. But since I don't know that part of it, I can't say that I'm okay with it.
Unfortunately, I think this match a 5.
I gave it a 7 just because, like, when, like, obviously, like, I'm on the double pin positive side, not, unlike you.
And I'm the exact opposite. So,
but the ending takes a little bit away from me. So, like, I could have, this match could have easily been an 8 or even a 9 with the wrestling abilities in it.
Correct.
It's just that last fall really took it out of me, man.
Yeah. I think if that last fall was more towards a fight at this point, it's a blood feud, right? You got to start fighting at some point. Plus, you want to win the match, move up the card. You got to win. So I thought that was the way it was going to go, and I think with the way the ending was, it took the wind out of my sails and dropped it to a 5. So I wanted to give it higher than that.
Well, and I
couldn't.
I would have been totally fine with, like, I don't even necessarily care who got the win in the end, but if it would have been like a fair thing, like if he would have did the figure 4 and it was a situation where, let's say, he rolled him up and held the ropes or something, I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
Compared.
It was in the ring. I mean, no one really wants a count-out win. However, I will say this, though. I've never seen a 2 out of 3 falls match where the winner was decided by count-out. So,
I guess.
There's that.
I'm just going to say this. I'm glad that they didn't do the whole WWE trope, because the last 2 out of 3 falls matches I remember on pay-per-view, at least for WWE, they ended where person A gets a fall, and then person A gets the second fall as well. So they never went to a third fall.
Right.
I'm glad they went to a third fall, quote unquote, because, the double pin. And they had made it a creative way to get there and only make it 2 falls. I'll give them 100% credit on that. Just that last fall, man. I'm happy with that one.
Well, fair enough.
But, I gave it, like I said, I gave it a 7. I respected what they did. The double fall, I gave them A for creativity on it. Neither guy looked weak in the process, just that last fall.
I'm sorry. Well, I don't think either guy looks weak if you lose the first or second fall. So I mean, I don't know why. Why either guy would have looked. I'm sorry. Why it saved either guy from being weak if they both pin each other? I don't know.
And there's a chance that part could have been called in the ring.
Maybe. I didn't think of that.
Like, they might have just been like, shit, creative finish. Because I don't know, because of these votings, I don't know how much they planned this shit. Because if it was the pure rules match, they would have had to count in the rope breaks part.
True.
If it was the European rules, they would have had to count the rounds in.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
So.
Yeah, maybe they called it in the ring. Who knows?
I mean, they would kind of have to. Just like, to be 100% honest with you, all these matches have had to been called in the ring because you don't know what the fuck you're getting into.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, certain things you can be like, okay. Like in the Fatal 4-Way match, like Kenny King doing that whole dive over the crowd. Like, you could kind of call that just because it's like, okay, if I'm in this match, then this is what I want to do. But you can't just sit there and be like, well, what if I'm in that Dragon Lee match instead? Can I do that spot then? You could, but it wouldn't be as cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, waiting for a guy to sit there and be on, like, we're still on the outside of the ring, like, what's going on? And Kenny King's on the ring apron. You would have noticed it miles away. Like, I'm sure people in the crowd saw Kenny King doing it, but me on TV watching it, no way I saw it.
I don't even know if you really noticed it in the crowd unless you were specifically zoned in on him, just because you're going to be watching the other guys going at it.
Correct.
And that's what they wanted.
All right.
So that was that match.